quote you here in the 2025 classical teacher. You say, students should not be taught that the world revolves around them. They need to be taught that there is a philosophical, moral, and aesthetic reality to which they must conform, and that their happiness depends upon their success in doing this. I'm going to piggyback off of Dorothy Sayers here for the Lost Rules of Learning. She says, it is not the great defect of our education today that although we often succeed in teaching our pupils subjects, we fail lamentably on the whole in teaching them how to think. They learn everything except the art of learning. So how does then classical teaching help even our young children to middle school, high school, and into the career elements?
I think number one, just first thing is just the arts and the sciences, right? It's mental development, moral, intellectual, and aesthetic. But I think that one of the problems we had, because you mentioned my boys, I was talking, I think they're about how we think, again, that education is simply to get a job. I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. No. Now, there is vocational training that you can get later on in your education, but you shouldn't be doing it you need to get a broad general education. For one thing, you have no idea, in many cases, what kind of job you're going to have after graduating from college. You will be better fitted for any job by having a general education. For one, those old general ed requirements that we used to have at the University of California where I went, that was good. The idea was good because I didn't know what I was going to be. I graduated from college. I still didn't know what I was going to do. I just closed my eyes and took the phone book and the yellow pages, banking. So I did that for 8 years. But I got a general education. I was well educated broadly. I could start in anything I wanted to. And my boys, my oldest son, as you probably heard in that presentation, was a philosophy major. And then he went to law school. And then 4 years into law, which he hated, he just shut down his law practice and started a software development company because he learned coding himself. And now he's a principal, which is apparently above senior, software developer for a top 50 company. My second son is as well. They can do that because they know how to think, right? They took hard courses. They took Latin. They took logic. If you look at coding, it's linguistic/logical. I asked my oldest son, and he's like a Clojure guru, which is one of these elite programming leads, write academic articles on. And he said, because I said, was modern logic really good for preparation for coding? And that's different from the logic I teach. My logic is linguistic logic that you actually use. That modern logic has those symbols and everything, and that looks a lot to me like code. But he said, actually, the Latin helped me more because coding computer languages don't just have, it's just not some symbolic word. They have syntax and they have a grammar to them. The more advanced they are, the more of that they have. So actually, the Latin was a lot more useful to me when I started coding than any even coding classes that he took, which were very few. He never took any in college.